these are tough acts to follow. You know, Doug talked a lot about my father, and I remember about 10 years ago, we were in Winnetka, Illinois, the suburban Chicago town we grew up in, and we had gone to a Sunday Mass and then went to Starbucks. And we were all sitting around having coffee, and my father, who, you know, was kind of had a Doug's sense of humor, turned to our daughter, Sarah, who's at the time was maybe 25 years old. And he said, Sarah, when are you getting married? And Sarah said, oh, Grandpa, that's kind of embarrassing. I don't know. And he said, why would you ask me that? And he said, well, the only time the whole family gets together is for weddings or funerals, and I'd rather get together for weddings. But I wanted to say that I told that to Doug 2 weeks ago when I visited him. And he said, well, tell that story and tell him that you look forward to being at the wedding of each of his children down the road. In fact, another story along the same lines was in 1998, we were in Longboat Key, Florida for a family reunion. And Jerry got up and gave a talk and said that it's amazing with so many people, I mean 8 children and so many grandchildren and so on, cousins, that in our family we've really escaped any kind of major tragedy or misfortune. Well, and he attributed that to my mom's prayers. Well, 3 years ago, my mom died. And as Doug and I talked about this, he said, well, why don't you say that I'm going to join her? So we think today they're united and with us in this church today. The thing about Doug that we don't want to get lost is how funny he was. I mean, he had an amazing sense of humor. And I remember more than anything when in the 1960s, when my parents had a wood panel station wagon, we'd go on family vacations and you picture 8 kids and 2 parents in a car. And so we'd have all kinds of fights and jokes and laughing and quiz show games and whatever. And it was always noisy. And then at some point, everybody would just sort of get exhausted and fall asleep. And as soon as that happened, it was completely quiet. My father, who, like I say, had a great sense of humor, would sneeze. But when he sneezed, he didn't just do a normal sneeze. He would totally exaggerate to wake everybody up. So it would sound like, achoo! And everybody would be startled. Well, this went on for a couple of years. And then I remember one year, Leo does, achoo! And we hear, God bless you! That was Doug, sort of getting even. When we talked 2 weeks ago, he said, you cannot believe the number of letters and emails and messages I've gotten. I should die more often. Well, the truth is he's living with all of us, and especially with his children, with Courtney, with Peter, with Julie, and with Catherine. And he will live with all of you, all of your lives. Now my brother Jerry, who is a ordained minister and